You're listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner.
Hey guys, it's Charles Arabs at Zoom the TBT, and tonight we're going over the brackets one by one after the reveal day. It was like Christmas Day, wasn't it, Charge?
No, absolutely. I mean, we've been waiting for this for a month and a half now. That application period got behind us. Had to wait a few days for TBT to put all the ducks in a row, and got a great selection Monday show with Seth and Chris Foster.
They killed it.
Great show. And here it is. We're here. I mean, Christmas Day, unwrapping it.
And speaking of here is one of the two places we're actually going. I mean, whoever wants to take a vacation looks forward to going to scenic Charleston, West Virginia.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful country down there. I mean, we won't unfortunately be out there enjoying the hiking and the rafting and all the fun stuff West Virginia has to offer. But yeah, West Virginia, beautiful place, and it's going to be some great basketball, which is more important. And in this bracket here, we said all along West Virginia was really, really deep. And this is the one we probably did the best at from a bracketology. We hit 8 of the seeds right on the nose. We had another 3 that were just one slot off. And so, it played out how we thought it was going to, with the exception of one piece. Boo Williams got bumped. Team DRC moved over from, going to keep me honest, the Columbus Regional, I believe it was. And so knocked Boo Williams out, which that's who we thought was going to be there. And that's going to be pretty impactful because that's up that matchup versus Heard That in the first round. Heard That versus DRC, which is always advanced every year they've been in the TBT. So that is probably the matchup of the first round that we really got to watch for.
What I like about this too is, like, as befits a team like Charleston, West Virginia. My family's originally from West Virginia. You know, I'm from Tennessee. My family's originally from West Virginia. They're from Huntington, in fact. So it's a blue collar workman like city, Charleston, right? So you've got Prime Time, you got Fort Wayne, you got War Ready, who plays hard and fast, the Buccaneers. You got, D2 and Blue Virginia teams that are going to be physical. There's going to be a lot of blue collar bump cuts, screens. It's going to be a really physical region, which befits the city. But what's also interesting about the city is, like, it's the city of underdogs, right? So they had a fan vote, a senior fan vote, like an OG fan vote, to pick the 64th team. So, Charge, how'd that work? You were on the call.
Yeah, I was on the call. It was a fantastic call. It was kind of unique experience. TBT made a case for 4 teams. So we had the Fort Wayne Champs, we had the Chicago Hootville Warriors, we had the Underground Kings, and we had the Locos, that UCSB alumni team. And so each team made a video, presented their case. They took questions and answers from the panel if people had questions about the team, so they can vote intelligently on who the best team was to go into the tournament. So I mean, it was a pretty nice crowd, really knowledgeable fan base, especially since I was on there, right? Ultimately what came out of that fan vote was the Fort Wayne Champs was selected by the fan panel to be that last spot accepted in the TBT. So, pleasure to have on today the GM of the Fort Wayne Champs, Garrett Martz. So a little bit of a different route. I mean, you've had a couple unique routes into the TBT in your past, Garrett. So this one's got to be probably one of the wildest ones.
Yeah, this is nothing new for us. In 2018, we weren't supposed to get in at first because they put in Rajon Rondo's team, and then he couldn't make it, so they kicked out that team and put us in. Last year in 2020, we were supposed to be one of the alternates, and we were a couple days away, I think, from heading there to Columbus, and we had 2 guys get COVID, and we just were down to, I think, 5 or 6 guys, and I was like, look, this doesn't make sense. I don't, so we ended up kind of dispersing the team, and several guys played for other teams. So not a surprise that we were in this position. It was, but not really. But happy it all worked out. Just happy to be in it. I don't really care how we got in. It was actually fun. We had to make those hype videos to show the super fans. So I had about a 12-hour turnaround to make that video. And I think I found out at 10:30 at night, and I have a job and stuff. So it was like 1:30 to 3:30. I'm just banging out this video, scrambling, and it actually worked out really. I'll try to remember to post in the comments of this YouTube video of the video we had to send into that. It's kind of a cool, I was proud of it. It ended up working. So for the short time I had it, no, it was great. I'm glad to be in.
Yeah,
That's
let me just go stay here for a second, Hainer. But yeah, the videos were really cool, and you know, Garrett's was really unique. You know, Chicago Hoopville Warriors had a great video really talking about their past. But you brought your mom into this, and so how are people gonna turn down and you know, not have your mom see Fort Wayne games? Come on.
Yeah, my mom is actually, it's funny. She's not really a big basketball fan in general, but when we started playing in TBT in 2015, she just became like obsessed with just TBT, like not other forms of basketball. So she will literally watch every single TBT game, like from top to bottom. She'll just sit in the house, have it on all day and watch it. So at the end of the video, which I'll post in the chat, but you know, I said, you know, you're gonna break this woman's heart if you don't attend the TBT. There's a final plea.
I love how shameless that is, by the way. You're like, listen, like, do you want to be responsible for making this woman cry?
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. So they let you in, but they did you absolutely no favors. Primetime players in the sideline. I can't imagine a harder road, and then possibly Armored Athlete. I don't think anybody's got a harder road than this getting out. As
Yeah,
an 8-9.
I think the good thing, you know, honestly, primetime players, like, so originally on that call for the West Virginia slot, we were told we were going to be the 11 seed. Like whoever won that vote was going to be 11 seed. So I wasn't really considering primetime as a team we didn't face. So I kind of actually forgot they were in this bracket almost because I just wasn't thinking. So not someone you'd want to face in the first game. I think the one positive is like, because I've been around TBT this long, like I know who they are. Like I know what to expect. Like we're not going to look at this team like, oh, I don't know who these guys are, you know? So I think that'll be a good mindset where I could see like a new team saying, hey, I don't know who, you know, Sean Barnett is, or I don't know, like, well, we know who they are. But it's not someone I'd want to play in the first game for sure if I had my choice. I have a lot of respect for Chris Thomas and that team. And obviously they've added, you know, Trevor Booker, Christian Keeling played really well for him last year, I remember. And they have a lot of other people. I was looking at their roster, a lot of guys currently playing professionally, which is something you always want in TBT. I think when you have teams that have guys that maybe, you know, it's a college alumni team, but the guy hasn't played for 4 years, it's like, that's not going to be the same guy. Where prime time, these guys play together too every, you know, week or in those leagues that they're in. And plus they're playing professionally. Like, yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup. Like, I'm not going to try to say it isn't.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup and no pressure for you. However, so if you were on that call and because you were on that call and we all said, you know, Fort Wayne is the team that has the best chance of winning a game in the TBT, everyone's expecting shoes. So if Fort Wayne wins, then everybody on that call wins a pair of those brand new Pumas. So no pressure, Garrett. You're going to let down a lot of people if you don't win.
We have to win, so you don't automatically get the shoes.
We don't automatically get the shoes unless you can pull some strings with TBT. But no, we need you to win.
I did not know that. Okay, we will get the win for the shoes then. For sure.
I can't believe I missed this call now. I saw it with a spam filter. I even told Charge during this conversation. I was like, how come I'm not one of the fans? I thought it was huge. And I found out I got the email. I just missed it. I'm like, one, you would have had another vote. And two, I'd probably have shoes. So, you know, that's my problem with spam filters and email today, I guess.
It happens, but yeah, I mean, you know, once again, just unique experience. So we'll move on kind of from the fan vote thing, and you know, hopefully they'll keep doing creative things. Obviously, the fans used to have more of a voice where you physically had to go out there and get people to, you know, sign up and follow your team. And so this was kind of a cool twist to it, that where the fans were able to select a team. So hopefully we'll see TBT do more of those type of things in the future. So going back to the bracket and talking a little bit about your team. So obviously you got a high profile coach with Steve Gansey this year. So obviously I'm very excited about that. And then you got Bruno, you got Steph Hicks. And so tell me about this roster and why you think these guys are going to be, you know, something that can kind of work past the primetime players. And obviously that sideline matchup is not looking forward to past primetime, but both of you guys are going to be looking like number one seed. I gotta bring my best.
Yeah. No, I think we're a very diverse roster. Like we have a little bit of everything. We have length and Jamani McNeese and Jamani's probably going to be the most athletic big in the tournament. Like if you go watch his highlights in Germany this year, it's just crazy. Every highlights an alley-oop dunk. Like and DiMaggio Wiggins are another big. He played at Bowling Green. He's 6'10". He's an elite rebounder. If you look at him in college, you know, he was one of like a top 10 rebounders. I think he had a streak there of double record there. That's his senior year. Also, you know, Steph Hicks, just a guy that can do everything. He's going to rebound. He's going to score. He can shoot. He's a team guy. And that's the biggest thing is we're all, it's unselfish, team first. And I think that is huge in TBT, and it's more valuable than having some elite player, but who's going to be like a me first guy, and you might score 30, but you might lose by 20. And we also actually have a trio. I mentioned Jamani, but we have Christian James, who played with Jamani at Oklahoma and has played in Italy the last few years. Just a great, big, like fullback type, like shooting guard who can score, can shoot. And we actually, this will be news to the ZoomTheTBT. We're going to add Rashard Odoms, who is coming over from Fort Hood, Wounded Warriors. He's actually a client of mine. So is Christian and Jamani. And they all played together at Oklahoma. They made a Final Four in the NCAA tournament. I think it was in 2016. And Rashard's a very diverse guy. He can play 2 through the 4. He's improved his 3-point game tremendously. He shot like, I think 38.8% in Finland this year from 3. We've also got Taylor Persons from Ball State, who played in Poland and Germany this year. Just a dog gamer, has hit some big shots in his career. Will run through a wall to win a game. Travion Cruz we have from Bethel, and he's a local Fort Wayne guy that's also a client. He's a great young point guard. Like he's going to open up a lot of eyes, I think, in the tournament. I know sometimes people see like NAI and they might write guys off, but this guy he's a big time player. He's gonna have a great pro career. I think I might have left a few guys off. I mean, we just have Ramon Harris we got from the original team that won the D-League championship in 2014. He's come back. So we have and also Ronald Moore from Siena.
Yeah.
So we have what I like about our team too is that it's a mix of younger guys and veterans. The younger guys, though, mostly are now going into their third years pros. Steph Hicks, I think, is in his 6th year, 7th year. And then we have Ronald Moore, Ramon Harris. And it's just guys who know how to play, guys who are going to be unselfish, make the right play. No one's going to care how much they play, as long as we win. So I'm excited. Like you mentioned Steve Gansey. I mean, I don't think anyone in the tournament has a coach that, has coached 5 or 6 years as a head coach in the G League, multiple other years as an assistant coach in the G League. He was an associate head coach with the Canton Charge. And then also we're going to have 2 assistants. One is Rod Wilmot, who played at IU. He played for us in TBT. He actually coached our team in 2017. He coaches a prep school that just won a state championship in Florida. He's going to be our assistant. Kevin Bloom, who coaches in 2019, is going to be an assistant. So it's all guys that we all know each other really well. We've known each other for probably the last 10, 12 years through the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. And so just a lot of trust there. And the team, again, just diverse and unselfish, I think is how to describe us.
Well, I really like the way you mentioned the unselfish thing, because one thing that's about TBT, and I think a lot of people don't get, is like, the idea of the splitting money relatively equally. I don't even have to ask. I assume that's what you guys would do if you won.
Yeah.
The idea of people playing for each other. The teams that win this, everybody plays a role and everybody accepts it and everybody plays together. So I see a lot of switchable size. I see a lot of wing strength, I see a lot of guards. Having people buying their roles, it means a lot. So how does your experience as having done this multiple years really allow you to bring your team ready to play for an event on such short notice?
I think exactly what you just described. It's looking at it as almost like, pieces on a chessboard where you got to have a little bit of everything. Isaiah Thomas has this great quote from Bill Simmons, the Book of Basketball, that came out many years ago. But Isaiah Thomas says, it's not about basketball. It's like, what does that mean? Well, it's about the guys buying into their roles, guys getting along, liking each other, wanting to play hard for each other. If you just have a bunch of toxic personalities, like, it's never going to work, especially in TBT. Like, if you have one guy who's selfish, you might win a game or two, but you're not going to, there's like no, look at the history of the champions in TBT. Like, you can't pick a team and say, wow, that guy was an asshole, or that, like, it just doesn't happen. So I think just picking the right personality. And the good thing is I know most of these guys very well personally, so I know who I'm getting, and I didn't really take any flyers on guys that I wasn't comfortable with, I thought might be disruptive on the team.
Right. Yeah. What's interesting, I don't know if you had a chance to look at the rest of this bracket. So we kind of talked about your matchups, prime time, if you get past them sideline. But I can't take my eyes off this that matchup where, somehow TBT, and this is a team that there's a lot of goodwill if they advance and a lot of fan base, but taking on DRC as a 14 is just crazy. And if you get by them, then you're going to take on a Team 23 team that's got Walt Lemon, which obviously played with the Manians. You could have got him over on the roster, but man alive, that just blows me away what that's going to have to go through for 2 games to advance to possibly take on West Virginia. But you still got D2 and Bleed Virginia. This side of the bracket looks insane to me. So did you have any other initial reactions? Obviously you focused on your matchup first, but once you got a chance to breathe, anything else stick out to you?
Yeah, for sure. Like I really like D2, I think is going to be really good. They added Todd Withers. They have a guy I really like named Jordan Floyd, who I think this is the first time he's played for him. I watched him a lot because he played in A2 Italy, and last year I had 2 clients in that league, and he was like the top scorer. And then you got the guys Jarrell Simmons, Mike Davis Jr., and there's some other guys who in 2019 when we played them and barely won, shouldn't have won. They should have beat us probably in that game. We got very lucky. Those guys have now played 2 more years professionally. They're gonna be better, and plus you add Todd Withers, you add Jordan Floyd, and they're going to be tough. Like I predict them to, beat Bleed Virginia there. And honestly, this is
a tough game. It's a tough game.
Yeah, it'll be a tough game, but I just think D2, just the way they play, and they're also very well coached with Grant Leonard. And I'm going to make a crazy prediction here. I could see Wofford, Woco Showtime also beating West Virginia. I know that's probably sounds insane, but Wofford's has a really good program there. We have a client, Cam Jackson, who played with us in TBT 2019 from that kind of era of Wofford. And, it's not just Fletcher McGee. You got Nate Hoover, you got Lee Skinner, Eric Garcia. And they actually added a guy I'm familiar with played at IPFW in Fort Wayne here, Dylan Carl, a 6'11" big. So I'm not saying they're a favorite, but I could definitely see, I think here's the big thing, like with Fletcher McGee and War Ready last year, like they didn't know how to use Fletcher. Like he was standing around, like he needs to run off screens. He needs to run around, and Wofford is going to know how to use, obviously it's all his teammates and buddies. And it's going to be, Nate Hoover can light it up. Like they have a lot of guys. I just have a feeling that bottom right side of the bracket is going to implode a little bit, and you're going to lose a lot of your Virginia. But I could be wrong, but that's just my gut reaction.
I'm anticipating a bunch of upsets in this one too. I mean, we talked about the Buccaneers versus War Ready offline, and then I agreed with Showtime. I thought they were going to go herd that and go Elmore versus Fletcher, but it's still going to be West Virginia. But I'm looking at a lot of upsets. So Hayner, any final thoughts, or are you going to close this out?
I think we covered it pretty well. I mean, Garrett is one of the more knowledgeable people in TBT, so it's always good to have you on, man, because you really know a lot about it. I think it's interesting that it shows the depth of the tournament that we have a 9-win program among the last teams in. That's insane to me. So, yeah, go ahead.
I think the biggest thing too with the seeding is, like, I was talking to some other GMs today, and some people were, oh, I'm kind of upset, and I was like, the seeding really doesn't matter in TBT. Like, there's not a regular season. Yeah, it matters a little bit as far as like it being a 15 or a 16 or something, but like you could like flip a lot of these and like it wouldn't matter. Like War Ready and the Buccaneers, I think you could flip that. There's so many matchups like that where it just the seeding doesn't matter. Just don't even worry about that. It's almost like an ego thing to me. Like I think like Armored Athlete in this, like honestly, besides us, I would probably think they're a big favorite, or not a big favorite, but who I would take. Just I like their lineup a lot, and AJ always is very careful. And I also want to give a shout out to AJ Mahar, was actually in this video that I made to help us get in, and kind of gave us a recommendation. And so did Ryan K from Purdue, the Metamaki team, which that was very nice of them to do to help me out. I think that helped out a lot with the super fans. But yeah, this bracket to me, there's no one that I look at and I'm like, wow, that's a scary, scary roster, but it's just all very solid. Like if you had to tell me who I'd want to play, like I don't even know who I'd tell you in the first game. That's the type of, it is a very deep bracket.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, well, it's been fun. Hey, Garrett, this is a lot of fun. We have a long sort of series of things, so it's great to have you on. We're really excited about seeing you. And again, it's 64th team. You can't ask for a better ambassador of the game than Garrett Martz. So gentlemen, thanks for coming by. Garrett, always a pleasure.
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Garrett.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed listening to Zoom the TBT with Charge and Hayner. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Twitter, and give us your money.